NBC News Africa has exposed some shocking videos, showing how the young people, the Gen Zs, were massacred during last year's anti-finance bill protest. And of course, this documentary shows in details how how young boys were shot at, how they died. In fact, it even reveals some of the faces of the people who were doing the shooting. Now, of course, before we continue, take your time, subscribe, and of course, help the channel grow. Now, of course, this documentary has a huge effect in Ruto's international image. Now, Americans, the USA, and other European countries will see Ruto's government as a government that kills its own people. Because, one of the best ways the government would have used is by arresting the Gen Zs. But you see, shooting people who are unarmed, people who are actually just demanding what is rightfully theirs. It's against the law. In fact, there's a point where one young man was shot at while running away. Imagine shooting someone who's escaping. If the Gen Zs were attacking the policemen or the army, that would have been a different story. But a civilian being shot at while escaping is against the law. Now, because they say that never beat someone who's on the ground. Now, again, what's the role of army, military in civilian protest? What's the role of army or the military in civilian protest? Because I believe the army is meant to, protect the country from external attacks, maybe from Uganda or Tanzania or other countries. But the army being used to, eliminate its own citizens, the people who pay taxes for their salaries. It's uncalled for. And in this documentary, we've seen how the army was used in carrying on this massacre. And of course, it's a sad state. And I tell you what, um, this documentary will have a huge impact on Ruto's 2027 political election bid, sorry, because it has refreshed the old wounds. Right now, people are living in what happened last year because this documentary vividly brings the image to our minds. And people say, like, okay, this army, they must have been commanded, and told to shoot at least a few number of people so that the rest can learn a lesson. That's what's coming out from this documentary. And this will have a huge impact in Ruto's re-election bid because his opponents, people like Gachagua, will use this documentary to fight him. That's the reality. They will use this documentary to fight him. They say that because it shows how it all happened. Yeah, how the young boys were killed after, of course, invading parliament. And I believe one of the best ways they should have used or done is by arresting these young people. But killing them, I think, is against the law. Arresting them, taking them to court is the best way to deal with such issues. But now, this will have a huge impact on Ruto's election. And of course, it does again, it has again re-energized agencies. It's again showed the young people that indeed it is possible to fight for your rights. Right now, if the government at all comes with another finance bill that's deemed, unfair to Kenyans, I believe the same thing might happen. You never know because the government has seen that these young people are not the people to play with. And of course, there was also another documentary that was talking about the quarry killings. But of course, the government came up with the propaganda actually that serial killer had killed 42 women. I don't know, over 40 women. And the twist came after that this person escaped from police cell. And now it's been months. This guy has never been arrested. See, such tactics by the government, such propaganda, is what now making this documentary or this government a joke. And I believe if President Ruto wants an election, he needs to come up with a strategy, yeah, a way of trying to, you know, he should explain to Kenyans what really transpired last year. If at all he wants to beat his opponents, yeah. So, folks, tell me, comment section, do you really believe that this documentary, yeah, will make Ruto, you know, fail in his re-election bid? Because that's the key point now here. Because Ruto, all he cares for right now is he wants to be re-elected. So do you think that this documentary will make him re-elected? Do you think that it will stop Kenyans from voting for him? Thank you.